As much as I love the chill music, I think maybe we need to see if we have some talented people that can make us a theme song. Something that we can play during the intro, something a little bit more upbeat, or give us two versions. One for a win, one for a loss.
I like that. Like that.
Keep the stars or something. I don't know, but maybe put some more upbeat music. Although I don't know, maybe that's like our signature thing now, though.
Nah, I think a theme song would work still.
Theme song. All right, we'll have to look into that. Maybe there's someone in our audience that is incredibly talented at making music that can help us out with that. Man, how are you, Jacob?
I'm good. It was a long. It's been a long few days. I played in a 3-on-3 basketball tournament over in Portales over the weekend. Just played outdoors, 6 games. So that was pretty draining. And then I don't know if you saw, but so State Parks has a zoo down in Carlsbad.
Mm-mm.
And over the weekend they had something come through. I don't know what it was. Tornado, microburst, funnel, something came through and ripped a giant roof off of their hay barn, and also ripped through like a viewing, like a Adobe viewing area.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
Yeah, no, you're good. Josh, how you doing? Glad to see you over in the chat. We're just getting going, catching up with everybody. It looks like we have Christina. Christina, when you're ready, give me a thumbs up. Good. All right. Perfect.
Hey, guys.
There she is. How are you, Christina?
I'm good. Sorry, I'm late per usual.
No, you are perfectly fine. Justin and Josh were late as well. So, you're not the only one.
Awesome.
So we were just catching up. Welcome into United Front, everybody. My name, of course, is Seth Bidoff. Joining me this evening, we got Jacob Terrell and the one, the only, the wonderful Christina. Glad you could both be here with us on the back of 3 points for New Mexico United. Christina, I know you were out at the match on Saturday. Jacob was too busy playing basketball, apparently. And I'm hoping that one of you can make it out to Wednesday's match against FC Juarez. I know you're traveling. I'm traveling.
I'm supposed to be getting ready. I leave on Thursday.
Okay.
So maybe it'll be a coin toss. Maybe I'll surprise you all and go.
Well, if you show up, I have been given express consent for us to live stream the match.
Now, how would we do that? Would we do that on the podcast?
Wherever you like.
From our phone?
Yeah, from your phone, put it on Facebook, TikTok, X, whatever. Yeah.
I feel inclined to do that service for everybody who can't, because you did break the news that it wasn't going to be streamed, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Now, will it be on the radio with Adam and Andy?
Yes. Not Adam and Andy.
Oh.
It is Tyler and Andy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Tyler Ortega and Andy Hageman will be on the call Wednesday night for the FC Juarez friendly. But yeah, I did break it on Saturday evening. There will be no TV or live stream of the friendly. Unfortunately, I found out it is due to the fact that Windfire Productions was not available and there were no alternatives. So unfortunately, no broadcast of the friendly. So if you don't have tickets, as of right now, the only way to catch the FC Juarez friendly is on ESPN Radio 101.7 The Team, or on the Team apps or the Team website. That's the only way to find it currently. So I got express consent from David saying, "Hey, this is the only time I'll ever tell you this, but you can live stream the match if you want." So yeah, if you can't make it out, please go and do that. Go and buy your tickets. League tickets start at $19 if you haven't got your tickets already. I know United has been sending out some text bursts to subscribers, to phone number people, to emails. Go buy your tickets if you don't already. As a club or a supporters group said anything about how 116, 118 are going to be regulated, that would be awesome after last year's ish show. I have not heard anything from the club. I don't know about the supporters groups. that might be a better question for the curse specifically. Other than that, I don't know. I know last year, Juarez supporters were allowed to sit wherever they wanted. And I think part of the issue here is that so many United supporters and so many locals are Juarez supporters as well. So I don't know that they sold like a separate block for Juarez supporters. I do know that ticket expectations are not where they had hoped they would be. So there are plenty of tickets still available for that. Bummed to hear the lack of stream for the game. Figured they would at least have someone out there streaming to YouTube or something. So I don't know what the club's availability is to do anything like that. I know that they attempted to do that during some preseason stuff a couple years ago, either from the back of a pickup or a drone, and unfortunately, neither of those worked too terribly well. The back of the pickup was better than the drone, but I think just overall in terms of quality and the ability to create an actual production out of it, it's severely limits what you can do when you have that type of setup. So, Adam or Andy and Tyler, or Tyler and Andy. Yeah, good Lord. It's been a week. Tyler and Andy, it is over on 1017. We're going to try. If one of us is out there, we will try to do what we can. But it is a bit of a bummer. I know that this is, second year running for FC Juarez. And, again, Juarez is a big name in Liga MX and throughout the Mexican population, throughout the Hispanic American population. Like it's, Juarez is a big deal. So that being said, go out and support. If you don't have your tickets, be there and make as much noise as possible. Show the club just how important these friendlies are and how much they mean to everybody. I wish I could be there. I'm traveling, so I won't be there for that one. I also won't be at Saturday's match for Pride Night, which I'm bummed about. I really am bummed. I want to be there for Pride Night, but I'll be with my family, and we will all be watching together and doing our Pride support from there.
Will you be there Saturday, Christina?
No, I'll be out of town until July 6th.
Oh, wow.
So, but I think our July 5th game is on the road, right?
I'll tell you right now.
So I'm only missing the Pride game, which is a bummer. How about you, Jacob? Will you be there?
I think I will, yes.
Awesome.
We actually play July 4th.
July 4th, yep. That's Friday night.
Friday.
In Pittsburgh,
okay.
Yeah.
And as a reminder, that match will not be on ESPN Radio.
Boo.
Yeah, I know. I said that. I found that one out a couple weeks ago, and I did say something about it in the Discord. I'm pretty sure I said something about it here, but the July 4th match will not be on ESPN Radio. So, go Sounders. I mean, are the Sounders playing? Is Club World Cup tonight? I think it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I have not paid attention to it. I've trying to get things finished and whatnot. So, but yeah, a couple broadcast notes. Make sure you are aware of what's going on with the broadcasts. I know this past Saturday's match was actually on Sirius XM. So, another way to tune into some matches as well. So,
I did see that 100.3 The Peak is doing a free summer fun giveaway of like 100 tickets to Saturday's game for United. Let me see if I can find their post to see where you go to get the tickets. But pretty cool for families who can't afford tickets but want to get their kiddos out there.
Yeah,
or go have a fun date night or something.
Yeah, I had hoped that Atlanta United would be in town while I am there, but they are not. I keep missing Atlanta United, so I'm going to see them in person at the Benz at some point. But yeah, looking around, LAFC, actually, LAFC, that's a 0-0 at the half there against Flamengo. Chelsea's up 2-0 on Esperance. But yeah, I would agree. MLS has not necessarily done great in the Club World Cup. I also think that Club World Cup has had some issues with scheduling and ticket prices and weather and and then of course you got Gold Cup going on as well. So
So the free ticket giveaway, by the way, starts at noon at the United Team Shop. So they're giving away 100 to 100 people.
oh wow.
Yeah.
No, there you go. Yeah, if you don't have tickets to Saturday's match, go check that out. Those are some interesting national teams to support. But we're glad you're here. We appreciate you tuning in. So yeah, talking about quickly, Bolty over in chat. Also promotion on Cumulus Radio Suite deals. You can get 2 tickets for $40, which is half off. That's half off. Okay.
Say that again. How much?
$40. 2 tickets for $40, which is half off.
Oh. Well, I feel like I saw somewhere that they were dropping ticket prices left and right.
Maybe. I don't know. Okay, I've kind of lost where chat is at. But there was a match on Saturday. We would show you the highlights of Saturday's match. I don't know if any of you have been to the USL Championship webpage or to the USL Championship YouTube webpage.
Uh-oh. Is it a hot mess?
There is no highlight package for United defeating San Antonio by a final of 4-2. Number one team in the conference.
Highlight reels, right, of all the goals, because
no,
lots of goals. No,
there's nothing. I look. I get that maybe I've pissed off, John Morrissey. Maybe I've pissed off Nick Murray. Maybe the league as a whole. Maybe I've pissed off the USL show. I don't know. Maybe somebody with some pull has obviously made this happen. But we're the best team in the West right now. Top of the table.
With a game in
San
hand.
Antonio. With a game in hand. That's right. 4 players on Team of the Week. Thank you, Jane. I was getting there.
That's true.
The league does not respect this club.
No. They really... I don't know that they ever will, but that's just what New Mexico is, the underdog.
I mean, it's hard to say. Can you really be the underdog if you're in first?
It's silly. I mean, this is our second season where they've managed to stay at the top for a good chunk of time.
Mm-hmm.
And all the talk last time was it was a one-off, or Quill got lucky. I don't know what it is going to take.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so all right, there's not a full match highlight, but there is this. Hang on, let me we'll back this up here. Let me share. Let me make this bigger. Either way, I'm like terribly disappointed with the USL Championship on this, and I don't get it. Jacob, explain this to me. Why does USL Championship refuse to show a highlight package? This is all there is. And this is from Marlon Vargas's Player of the Week award video. Now, huge congrats to Marlon Vargas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was phenomenal on Saturday. Can't take anything at all away from him. And great highlight package. Great assist here. But yeah, this is it. This is a minute 22 in a match that had 6 goals.
Thank goodness, because I was feeling a lot frustrated. Feeling like our back line was struggling and we could not pay for a goal. And then somehow, finally, things just kind of tilted in our direction, and it was a wild couple of minutes at the end there.
Yeah. And did you guys see Nick Murray's recap of this match?
I did
I?
not.
No, I saw his or I saw the opening to Power Rankings.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
But I did not. He waxed pretty poetic about us in that. But I did not read the recap. No.
Yeah. How San Antonio FC became the masters of their own demise in New Mexico.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Entering the final 5 minutes, San Antonio FC had done everything it needed to in order to earn a good road result against Western Conference New Mexico United. It had a battle back from a subpar first half display to level the game twice as Mitchell Tainter, boo, converted from the penalty spot on not a penalty, and Reese Buckmaster capitalized on a rebound.
Okay.
No, it wasn't. It was
was,
not a penalty.
Okay.
No, if you notice, Harry did not say a word when we disputed that being a penalty. Harry did not say a word in our group chat.
I don't need Harry to say a word. I saw it. It was a penalty.
No, I disagree. Akale stepped in front, got the ball, and then Flores, Paredes, whoever it was, ran to his leg. That was a clean play by Akale. Anyway, it had weathered United's response with goalkeeper Richard Sanchez making a pair of good saves to keep the game level before his defense held New Mexico without a shot in the following 10 minutes. And then the visitors became the masters of their own demise, succumbing to a 4-2 defeat at Islip Park almost in the blink of an eye. Why are we waxing poetic about San Antonio, who lost 4-2?
Why are we starting with this when we won 4-2, though? Why are we so negative?
Because the
I don't
league
understand.
and Nick Murray and John Morrissey.
Nothing's new, Seth. This is not new.
It feels similar to Sacramento. When we lost to Sacramento, we were a man down for the majority of the game, but still dominated. And, I do sometimes try to listen to Andy and Adam, even when I'm at the match, because I like their commentary. And one of them had the really interesting tidbit that United has dominated a possession across all games, including that Sacramento game. So even when we're a man down, we still have more possession than the other teams. This recap feels similar to that, where it's like, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, kind of.
Yeah. So, Jacob, obviously you have the inside scoop on the power rankings. I have not looked at either of them. Does John Morrissey give us any sort of credit in his power rankings?
Yeah, they both had us in the top 5 all year, even when we had a little swoon. Like, let's
Is Sacramento above us?
No. Let's calm down just a little bit, because that has kind of leveled out. And it's not really that big of a deal. I also don't think this was necessarily a recap of the game. I think this is more of I need to write about San Antonio, or I was planning on writing about San Antonio, and this is what happened, so I'm writing about San Antonio. I don't think this was hey, this is what happened during this game. This was definitely written about San Antonio, obviously, and I think that's probably because it was planned beforehand to write about San Antonio.
Well, I mean, you can plan, but if San Antonio doesn't perform, right? Pivot.
They did, though. They earned 2 points against they earned 2 goals against us, and probably should have had. It was a penalty, bro. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. And probably should have gotten a point out of that, except for a dumb mistake and then just being completely lost for the last 10 minutes. Now, they shouldn't have got a point, because we should have finished probably 5 other freaking times.
But more than that. And so many missed open goal, one-on-ones, like barely skirting the pole, like so many opportunities that our guys just could not put the ball in the back of the net.
And so they did what they had to do until late. I mean, remember, both of the winning goals came in stoppage time. So, like, it was definitely like, I was going into stoppage time going, man, we really crapped the bed in this one. We definitely should have had at least another goal or 2, if not more. And then the floodgates finally opened up, and it was earned stoppage time. I'm not saying that it should have ended in a draw whatsoever. It's just, like, San Antonio, I thought when it was 2-2 and we were going to be leaving, when I thought we were going to be leaving there with a draw, I was mad at the lack of finishing, but I was happy with the chances we created. I was happy with how the defense looked, minus Ryden for the most part. And so I was like, okay, like this is what losing our captain looks like, and moving on. And was like, okay, at least our offense kind of came alive if we could only finish. And so I wasn't even upset then. And then luckily we did get the two goals there towards the end, which gives us much needed 3 points and keeps us in first place, mind you. Yeah, this was not an ass kicking, even though it could have been, and kind of sort of looks like it technically, but it was not.
Well, and San Antonio was missing their number 9 or their number 10?
They're number 10.
Right?
Jorge Hernandez was a late scratch.
Their best player, and arguably, well, he was named player of the year last year in the USL Championship, so arguably the best player in the league. I don't think he has been this season, but he has still been good. So yeah, they were missing one of their top guys, much like we were missing Ryden, and a slew of other names that we've talked about ad nauseum. And so, I don't know. It was a well-deserved win, but it also could have been a well-deserved draw for San Antonio, if that makes any sense.
Josh, the full match is on.
Oh, good.
Yeah, Josh, the full match is on ESPN Plus still.
I was going to answer Andrew's question of where Harry is. I'm guessing he's busy being dad. But we were chatting with him during the game. No,
he's definitely curled up in the fetal position watching this, crying.
Okay, fair enough. But I will say he was pretty neutral in our chat during the game.
He borderlines a pessimistic fan sometimes, but like he's very real of like if his team's not playing well, he will say his team's not playing well.
Yeah.
And I think he would say that his team probably didn't play very well and would have been lucky to get a draw. I would semi-agree with that, but I think they played better than some people on the pod are giving them credit for.
No, so when I look at this, I had some conversations during the match, especially at halftime. I watched the way we played in the first half, and this was probably the best first half we've had in the entire season. You know, we were, I almost want to say dominant in the first half.
64% felt super cohesive.
Oh man, they played so well. I loved seeing Zico and Gideon, and I love the way that they played on Saturday. They really seem to be finding a rhythm there in the midfield. And they were very, very good. And that was some of the things that coach talked about in the post-match presser was just how good the midfield was. You know, looking at some of those stats from the first half, 64% possession, 4 total shots, 1 on target, 1 big chance. And like we really didn't give San Antonio anything in that first half. We really didn't. And so that first half was really good. Everybody looked crisp. We looked up for it. We looked ready. I think this was phenomenal. And the fact that San Antonio didn't bunker, they didn't sit back. They came out. They were aggressive. They didn't do what other teams have done to Andrew's point here. And that's something I did want to bring up as well. You know, when teams come out and play, I think we see a much different style, a much different flow, because it allows us to really find a rhythm instead of having that, staccato, start, stop, like trying to pick things out. I agree, Jane, having Zico back was massive for us. I know someone posted on Facebook, the results with and without Zico. Now, to be fair, every time we score more goals than the opponent, we win. So whether it's Zico or Gideon or whoever's in there, I don't care. But yes, Zico is a tremendous person to have in the midfield.
And I think his link up with Gideon was just, like I said, cohesive. Like they just seemed to really click, the two of them together.
Yeah, they really did. And, again, come out of the halftime, like things are looking really well. I'm like, okay, I'm enthused by what I'm seeing. I like what I'm seeing. It's not necessarily that San Antonio did anything wrong, but we dominated that first half. But then you come out in the second, and San Antonio, they get the not a penalty, and then you get, Akali comes back and scores another great goal. Fantastic goal by McQuilly. Love it. And then they get a second one in the 75th minute. Great save by Alex. To Bakis. I was having a long
top. Yeah, that's it.
No M.
Bakis.
No M.
Oh, no M.
Tabakis.
Tabaki. That's going to take some practice.
Yes. I was having a discussion with David Weesey Carl about that on Saturday. And I said, we've all been saying ever since he came to the U.S., people have been saying he's just never corrected anybody. Just never has.
How many years has he been with us?
5.
Oh, goodness
5
gracious.
Years. So Alex Tabakis makes a phenomenal save. Rebound comes off, happens to fall to Buckmaster. I think Gloucester somewhat fell asleep a little bit here, because you see Buckmaster just kind of react a heck of a lot quicker than Gloucester did. And so now you've got a 2-2 match. San Antonio is playing confidently, and it almost looks like San Antonio has the upper hand in the second half. And Jacob, am I missing something? Did it look different to you than what I thought?
No. I mean, well, I don't know. There was maybe a small stretch where I thought San Antonio had the upper hand, but for the most part, I felt like we controlled the match pretty much the whole time. The stats kind of bear that out. I mean, possession hugely in our favor, passes in our favor, accuracy in our favor, shots on target. I mean, it was corners, you name it. We kind of had the edge there, and just watching it, like even in the second half, they did hold a little more possession, but didn't really create much with it. And we were able to break a couple times. There was one that was, I think, right after halftime where I think it was Akali took it away from somebody and created kind of a 2-on-1 that Marlon kind of tried to take a shot, one touch that I thought he should have maybe tried to corral and get under control. But I mean, it was still a good shot. He barely missed. And so even when they had possession, it still mostly led to good things for us opposed to them. I look at it as we go into this match against a team that was tied for second behind us. We knew kind of going into it, or at least halfway through it, that whoever won this match was going to end up being in first place in the West. If we had a winner. If we didn't have a winner, oh man, El Paso would have been in first place. That would have been a disaster. Well, we'd have been tied with El Paso. But somebody, if they won, was going to come out, and we were clearly the better team. And luckily we got the shots to fall at the end to get the result that we deserved. And I think that speaks really highly of this team's ability to, one, bounce back after the Lexington loss, which in hindsight probably was a trap game that we weren't really paying attention to. Had I thought about that last week or 2 weeks ago, I wouldn't have been as confident and cocky about it. But yeah, I think bounce back after that. Look like this against San Antonio. Yes, they were missing one of their best players, if not their best player. The fact is, like, Jorge Hernandez doesn't add to their defense necessarily. He does do some things that make it easier for their defense, and we still were able to put 7 shots on target. Let me get back to it. 7 shots on target, 13 shots total, put 4 shots in the net. And we had Akale's that went just wide, so that doesn't even count on there. We had Vargas's, the one that I just spoke about, that went just wide, that doesn't even count on there.
Fernando missed one.
Yeah, Fernando missed the target on one. And so, yeah, it's just there were 13 shots that 7 of them were on target, but probably 3 others were like super good chances that we should be finishing, in my opinion, but we're not. And so, or at least putting them on net, putting them on frame, and making the keeper do something. And so, yeah, I think it was a statement win for sure. And I mean, it reflects that in the standings. The power rankings kind of reflect it. I'm kind of done with the narrative that everybody hates us. There are still some people that do, but like
I don't think it's hate. I think it's indifference.
Some of it is.
That's what it feels like, indifference. Yeah.
Which is worse, right? At least hate involves like some kind of passion.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I get that to an extent because we had a fantastic season last year. But before that, like, remember when Quill came over and stepped in for Prince, we had to win the last like 3 games.
Or relying on other teams to drop points to get us into the playoffs. Yeah.
Yeah. And with the West being as weird as it is, I mean, I look at these standings in the West and go, okay.
We definitely got lucky last weekend.
We did.
You know, a lot of results went our way to keep us in that top spot. That was some sheer luck, some doozy of some losses.
Mm-hmm. But we still have the most wins in the West. We don't have a lot of draws, which is fine with me. And nobody, like, the West is just weird. And so I can understand why you're not giving a ton of credence to the fact that we're leading the West when the West is just wonky and wild and kind of underwhelming in a lot of ways. And so we've got to come out and we've got to beat the likes of Lou City and Pittsburgh Friday is going to be a big game. We're on paper, we're better than Pittsburgh. I mean, we have 8 more points than them on the season, but they've gone out and actually played and I believe I'm going through now. They've beat Rhode Island. They've drew with Lou City. Actually, never mind. Loudoun beat them. Detroit beat them. North Carolina beat them. They drew with Lou City. Charleston beat them. Yeah, they suck too. We should beat them.
Uh-oh.
It's a Lily Ball in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be tough no matter what. But that's a game that I can almost guarantee you most people will be picking Pittsburgh. Even though Pittsburgh hasn't looked great against top competition. So if we go out there and we win, it's going to be like this. If we go out there and lose, they're going to be like, exactly. Right. And if we go out there and win, they're going to be like, well, you should have. Because Pittsburgh doesn't do very well against top competition. So it's a lose-lose for us. Like, we're not going to get credit there.
I was happy to see Herbert come on, and get some minutes. So I feel like that's a positive. Was it 3 minutes?
It was like 3. Yeah, it was like 3 minutes. But no, it is good. It's good to see him back. I know there was some concern about what happens back there with the injury to Kalen Ryden. Obviously, we talked about that last week. We know that Kalen will be out for at least 1 to 2 months. But yeah, no, seeing Tony come back is really good. And I asked Coach about it after that because when you look at that team sheet that came out prior to the match, there was some question as to how the heck do we line up on Saturday? I thought for sure it was more of a 3 at the back with Talon in the middle and then Jalen and Gloucester on the outside. But and I even asked Coach, I said, hey, so early on in possession, it looked like 3 at the back with Jalen pushed a little bit higher up on the right. So not necessarily 4, but in possession, it looked like 3 at the back with Talon and
Jabang
and Gloucester. That's what it looked like. I said Lindsay a little bit farther up on the right. But when I asked Coach, he goes, "Yeah, we really didn't switch to 3 at the back until later in the match."
Yeah, what you were talking about there with Jalen pushing up, that's in possession, especially when we hold a lot of possession.
Yeah,
that's how we normally look. So either Lindsay or Gloucester or Seymour, one of the three is pushing forward. Every once in a while, we get both pushing forward, and just Maples and Ryden were back there. But I think with Jabang being not new to that position, but new to that position for us, he didn't want to get Gloucester pushed that far forward.
Yeah.
And so he left Gloucester there as a little bit of help. Unless there were specific moments where Gloucester kind of pushed forward, but not very often. And so it didn't super surprise me. And Jabang, we had talked about Jabang playing center back last week, and so when we saw his name in there, I assumed that's what it was going to be. Because if you had the 3 at the back and Jabang was in the midfield, the rest of it didn't fully make sense to me.
Yeah. No, yeah, I tried a couple of different things. Nothing really made sense. I expected Will to be in there, to be honest. And then when Will wasn't, he was in the 18, but not in the 11. So it was like, okay, the first reaction is, okay, Kalen's out. Tony's, so who steps in? Will's played that. Will's done fairly well.
Yeah.
I'd rather see him there than on the outside. And I've said that in the past. So yeah, it was just strange to see that team sheet and go, okay, are we maybe? And then Amon got the start. So okay, are we actually playing 2 at the top? Like, what are we doing? So it looks strange on paper, but when you see it, and like I said early on, especially in the first half, the way that they rotated around, it looked like it was 3 at the back because you had Talon more centrally, you had Jabang more to the right. So, and then Gloucester on the left. And like I said, when Lindsay pushed up, it looked like 3 at the back. So that's why I brought it up with Coach. He goes, no, we really didn't do that until later, which makes sense. 3 at the back is a very aggressive formation. It does open you up a bit more on the defensive side of things. And so just watching this, there were 2 things that really stood out to me in this match as things I felt. Well, just 2 things, and I'll explain. One was, what the hell was Paredes thinking? What the hell was he thinking? I mean, obviously he wasn't, but no, to make a grab like that when you've got defenders back in position to make a play, no reason for that at all. Really dumb decision to get that second yellow for SPA and getting sent off. Really dumb. And there was no argument. He knew it. He went off, and it was just a dumb decision. The other thing too that I noticed, and I asked Quelle about it, and I said, San Antonio is historically a very physical team. They like to be in your face, like to be physical, but with how they were playing defensively, they were giving up some of those longer runs, some of those outer channels. And so I asked him, he goes, yeah, and coaching Quali both talked about it. It's something that they're trying to do more of, to pick their moments where teams are allowing them to run, and then varying how and where they're delivering the ball. So sometimes it's more at the feet, sometimes it's more over the top, but it is giving them chances that we haven't seen in other matches. So I don't know if that's more of a failure on San Antonio defensively to mark our guys and prevent that from happening, or if it's more on, hey, we're going to do this and we're going to make it work.
Well, I think we were taking what San Antonio was giving us, because before, yes, we play it to the midfield's feet. That is, on the ground has been our go-to game the majority of the season. There have been times where we've tried to go over the top, or where we've gone more direct for stretches in a match, but not like this. And I think that San Antonio was saying, okay, this is what you want to do. We're going to take away what you want to do. They just weren't prepared for us to be ready for that with a counterpunch. And it's something that we've seen bits and pieces of throughout the season. And it's something that we kind of knew had to happen, because you're not always going to be able to play on the ground through the middle. especially with teams taking that away from you. I think, we've kind of gone through 3 phases, right? We saw early in the year, teams parked the bus, gave us all that room to try to do that in the midfield. But once we got to the final 18 or the final third, it was too crowded to do that, and it was just kind of crazy. That didn't work, obviously. After 4 1-0 wins, we were able to break through, but they weren't providing enough attack to possibly win the game. So then we saw it switch, right? And we saw it start with El Paso in the Open Cup match. They didn't sit back. They attacked. We tried to play the ball through the middle on the ground. They took it away from us. And so ever since then, you had seen bits and pieces of things coming in new. And it seems like now we're just finally figuring it out. Talon's finally figuring out when to play these direct balls and where the attacking players want them. The attacking players are figuring out when to make these runs and where to make these runs to take advantage of what the defense is giving them back there. The midfield is, okay, you can play it to our feet, and then we're going to turn, and they're expecting us to dribble, so they're going to come try to stop us dribbling, and instead we're going to be able to hoof it over the top or kick it out wide or do something else with it. So to me, it's a accumulation of everything that we've been facing all season, and the adjustments that we've needed to make. And I think a lot of what we saw against San Antonio was, if San Antonio took away the ball in the middle, we were good enough to go direct. And if they dropped back for us to go, so we couldn't go direct, we played the ball through the middle and made them pay both ways. And if we can keep that up, then we're either going to see teams start parking the bus again, because teams would rather, be 0-0 in the second half than lose 4-2 and give up probably 15 good chances, or 15 decent chances at least. They'd probably rather see that number drop to like 7 decent chances, 6 decent chances, and either try to get a draw or try to do a smash and grab. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we come out Saturday and Colorado Springs gets torn apart again, or Colorado Springs gets torn apart because of our new ability to be able to do a little bit of everything. If after that we don't start seeing more parking of the bus, or maybe Colorado Springs just does that anyways and they come out and park the bus right away. I'm not sure, but I think it's just shown it's a way to, we still need to see it against a parked bus team, but some of the criticism early that was semi-deserved was there were ways to beat Dennis Sanchez's attacking system, including parking the bus, which pretty much stops every attacking system. But, and then in the middle there, when El Paso was kind of had our number when in the Open Cup, and then when we went down there, it was kind of like, well, we're one dimensional. We don't have a way to do multiple things. And if we can figure, if what we saw against San Antonio continues, then teams aren't going to be able to just take away one thing, because it's going to be, we're going to beat them a different way. And if that's the case, then I think the league might be in trouble, at least the West.
Just might be. Yeah. And in that stretch too, what happened, what we saw was teams are playing very narrow. El Paso did it. Phoenix did it. They played very narrow, kept us, they stayed compact at the back and kept us from being able to be creative. So if you, again, we've talked about, if you find ways to force people out of that, then yeah, we have some very dangerous players. And again, we should be seeing Hursty back any day. Herbert should probably get more minutes this week. Kalen's out still significantly. Dayon Harris still getting there. So
any day now.
Any day. He's training with the first team, hopefully any day. So and then obviously you want to see some more minutes for some of the young kids like Bodie Ford. He got a couple more minutes. Jay Seiss didn't see anything over the weekend. We do have 2 matches coming up this week. We obviously already mentioned FC Juarez tomorrow night out at the Lab. Other than nobody getting hurt, what do we want to see out of this match tomorrow against FC Juarez? Coach on Saturday said, we're going for it. We want to win this. Is that realistic here, or do we just want to see this as an opportunity to where you get some guys in who haven't necessarily had minutes, like Brucey and Jace and Bodie, and get them some time and possibly a little bit more match fitness?
I tend to lean more towards the latter of letting some of those players who haven't been seeing very many minutes get more time, and just work on that cohesion, clicking with the squad. Um, I my eyes are on Thomas Among. Um, he reminds me a lot of Frater in that he's very smiley when he's on the pitch, and it's kind of infectious, but also my family's nickname for Frater that first year was Roots, because he would just camp out on that back line and not get back and would just grow roots. And I notice from my vantage point where my seats are, Among does that too. He's offside all the time. So my hope is if he does get some playtime, he can maybe work on getting back and not getting us caught offside so often.
Entirely possible. I mean, he certainly looked better than what he did the first two matches. I think he's maybe like 95% of the way there. I think if he makes a couple more goals, if he finishes, gets a couple more good finishes, I think you see him well on his way. But he certainly looks better. He's certainly playing with more confidence than he was early in the season, and that's always a good sign for a forward. I would.
It looks
my
like he's
guess,
having a good time though.
so,
which is great. Yeah, he looks. Yeah, that's it. He looks more comfortable. He looks more confident. We just need it to click and get him some goals to just get that going a little more.
Yep, can't disagree with that. Jacob, obviously, I think we're going to see Chris Shakes tomorrow. I don't think we see Alex Tabakis in the international friendly. The question over from Christian. I wonder if Hoffman will see get any minutes to see where he's at. What do you think? Do we see the younger guys, Derek Lozano, Kyle Hoffman, the guys who are on those academy contracts, or do you think we see again just the first team guys who don't have as many minutes as they would like?
I think the starting lineup is a starting lineup we would see in USL.
Okay.
Where it goes from there is probably depending on game flow, and there may be some plan, but I think it just depends on like if we're getting our butts kicked or if we're kicking butt. I could see some of the kids getting some minutes. If it's close, especially if it's tied, I do think that Sanchez will make subs, but I think it'll be subs that we see already. Maybe there'll be room for one of those younger guys to get some minutes in a close match, but I don't know what the sub rules are going to be. If we have, I think typically we can like do wholesale changes, and stuff like that. So
yeah, it's like a preseason. It's I don't think anybody gets more than 45 minutes in this.
I don't know. I could see Among getting more than 45. I could see Maples or Jabang going more than 45.
I don't want them going 90.
I didn't say that I wanted it. I just said that I could see it.
Yeah, I agree with you, Seth. My hope is that they don't.
I would almost rather see a guy like Maples and a guy like Among go 90 than having Seymour, Herbert coming off an injury, maybe Hoffman. I mean, Hoffman, I wouldn't mind seeing Hoffman out there for 45, but I'd rather those guys who I don't have a whole lot of fear of getting injured. Obviously, knock on wood, anything could happen. I'd rather see those guys put in the minutes instead of somebody coming in not with their normal routine, because a lot of times when you don't have your normal routine, that's when some injuries can happen. So if you get somebody like Herbert coming in for 45 at halftime, I think I'd rather just see Maples for 90 minutes. I would feel more confident that we're not going to get an injury if that's the case than if we're rotating guys in and out. That if we're treating it not like a midseason game, but the guys are going to be going as hard as a midseason game, I could see that leading to more injuries than if we just treat it like a regular season game with sub patterns and everything. So I wouldn't mind seeing some of them go 90. Andrew says the sub rules are the same as a regular season. So
no, they are not. So I was just referring back to last year's friendly, as one expecting a friendly, both sides substituted liberally, particularly the Bravos, who replaced all 11 starters at halftime.
Okay.
So yeah, sub rules go out the window. So, yeah, no, we were talking about the friendly. Yeah.
So yeah, even for the friendly, I'm not expecting like a huge rotation necessarily. I don't think. Okay. And honestly, unless you're looking at bringing in 5 or 6 guys from the academy, we don't have a lot of bodies to rotate through.
Mm-hmm.
And like if you talk about putting in like a B lineup to start, like what's our B lineup if it doesn't include a bunch of academy kids?
Brucey, Seymour, Sergio, for a few, get him on some more minutes. Hursty, if he's healthy, get him some minutes,
No.
Herbert.
You do not put Hurst on that field after a soft tissue injury coming back first.
30 minutes. Like I don't give him 60. I give him like 30.
I don't even know. I wouldn't even do that. I would save him for, I don't even know if I'd play him this weekend. Even if he was ready, I'd save him for USL regular season because those soft tissue injuries those scare me. That I don't like that.
Fair enough. Speaking of Jägermeister Cup, I know we're all excited. There is a lot of Jägermeister Cup action going on this week. Starting tomorrow night, Colorado Springs taking on San Antonio. So Colorado is going to come in after a competitive match. They've got Widener Field at home tomorrow. Go on the road on Saturday down here for the third round of the Jägermeister Cup. As it stands right now, we lead Group G, D, F, whatever it is.
Group of death.
Group of death. Group 2, New Mexico United. We lead 4 points. San Antonio and Colorado Springs both sitting on 3. They have each only played one match. So they were playing match number 2 tomorrow night. They'll both play match number 3 on Saturday. Phoenix is sitting in 4th on 2 points. El Paso also on 2 points. And Texoma and Union Omaha bring up the rear. Texoma with a single point and Omaha with none. So everyone should be at 3 matches by the end of this weekend. A win on Saturday for United all but secures advancing to the knockout stage. Puts us on 7 points. And depending upon the other results, particularly Colorado and San Antonio, we may well be in the driver's seat to go ahead and advance. If they draw, obviously someone's going to pick up 2, someone's going to pick up 1, but even then with one match left to play, I mean, if that's where you're at, United needs a draw to advance in that 4th round. But we're not there yet. So
remind me what the rules are for advancing. Is it the top team from each group?
Top team from each group, and then 2 wild card teams.
Oh, it's 2 wild cards, and one of them is goal differential.
It's where is it? The remaining 2 spots will be awarded to non-group winners that earn the most points in group play.
Okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought goals was.
It was, and then they changed it like a week before the tournament started.
So goals scored will be used as the tiebreaker for teams level on points following the group stage.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, our goals scored is looking pretty good for Jägermeister.
That it is. Goal differential was the thing before, like a week before the tournament started. They changed it like really late because that's what it was last year. So, I mean, quickly, let's look at tomorrow night, Colorado, San Antonio. Obviously, again, they're both sitting on 3 points. They both have a win in their opening matches. What comes out of this tomorrow night?
Bloodbath. They're going to beat each other up, and I'm going to love it.
Okay, fair enough. Jacob?
I don't know. If Hernandez still isn't going for San Antonio, with it being in Colorado, I could definitely see Colorado pulling it off. Which, if they do, that's when I'm not sure. Like, if we win this weekend against them and they beat San Antonio, then we are sitting pretty good. But I don't know. Until we figure out what happens in that match, this group is completely up in the air, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there are some teams that could be eliminated this weekend. Looking around the standings, AV Alta has already been eliminated. Orange County could be eliminated this weekend. Roots could potentially be eliminated. Union Omaha or Texoma potentially. But yeah, depending upon the result tomorrow night, I mean, obviously Saturday's going to be a big match, no matter how you look at it. Club is trying to chase silverware after crashing out of the Open Cup. Yeah, I agree. I think I agree with Jacob. If Jorge Hernandez does not play, I think San Antonio has a tough time. Now, obviously, Colorado's not having a great season within the league. They obviously are not where they wish they could be. They are currently sitting. Where is it? Everything's going really slow over on USL Championship. Colorado's sitting 10th in the Western Conference right now, so clearly not where they want to be. But they are a team that can pull off a few surprises. So I do
Especially
think tomorrow's going to be tough. Mm-hmm. That it can be. Yeah, I think it's going to be tough tomorrow night. I do think San Antonio either gets 2 or 3 out of that one. But with how they're playing, I just don't know. But that's
going to be a
guess.
fun match to watch.
Yeah, that it will be. I will try to have it up tomorrow night. We'll see how that goes. But Saturday, Colorado comes in. They're going to be on short rest. Much like us, 3 matches in 8 days. What do we have to do to be successful on Saturday against Colorado?
Score. You know me. I'm stingy. I'm greedy. I want a clean sheet. Well, I guess we want to. The clean sheet is only for regular league play, right? For Alex.
Yeah.
So that doesn't quite matter as much, but I feel like our offense just has struggled so much. Granted, we have a positive goal differential, which in years past it has not been that case. But I just want to see some of these guys just getting some consistency and putting the ball in the back of the net, especially when it's one-on-ones or open nets. Like when they should just there's no reason to not put those away.
I wouldn't disagree with you there at all. Obviously, some very big missed chances over the last few weeks for guys in those situations. Obviously, there's one the other night where you round the keeper and then you just don't put the goal on frame.
That was Tainter doing crazy shit, though.
Yeah,
that I don't put that on Fernando as much as I put like the missed sitter on Fernando. Or some other instances on Fernando. Tater came out of freaking nowhere, and there's probably a way that you could get that ball off a little bit faster, but I don't know. Tainter made a hell of a play on that one, so I'm not even mad about that.
Yeah.
My mom had read me the journal article from Saturday's match, and there was some an interview with Fernando where he talked about just being so thrilled to get his first goal in front of the home crowd and just how important that was for him. That I want more of that for our guys. I want them to get that little taste of thrill and an excitement, and I want them to be just kind of addicted to that feeling,
Yeah, Absolutely. When it comes to Colorado on the season between league and cup play, they've scored 19 goals, surrendered 21. So not a terrible goal differential in terms of what they're doing. They just haven't seemed to put together any results. They've been incredibly inconsistent, across the board, no matter what it is. I mean, is there anyone? I mean, obviously Marco Micheletto's there. Who else stands out as a player that could have an impact for Colorado on Saturday?
Tejada is the guy that comes to mind for me. He's been one of the better offensive players in the league since I can remember, honestly. And he's done really well for them. He's not the flashy guy. He's not Haji Berry. He's not going to wow you with his physical gifts. He's just very technical. He finishes when he's supposed to finish. And he's kind of just always been a guy that is clutch as well. I mean, he scores late goals out of nowhere a lot of the times. He just, I don't know. He's always been a player that I think is underrated throughout the league. And so when I look at their roster, and especially when I'm looking at like minutes and stuff like that, he really sticks out because he's just there and he makes a difference in positive ways, even if he's not scoring.
Concern either of you at all the result that we had a few weeks ago against Colorado Springs here? Obviously, the match we were up 1-1. Ryden gives up the own goal. Is there any concern that there is going to be lingering stuff from that match?
No, I don't feel like we have those sorts of hard feelings when we play Colorado.
Okay, fair enough.
This team just seems mentally pretty tough most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And that 1-1 match was in our kind of lull of the season. And so I think we're better now. I know Lexington could be considered a little, but it was like, we had the 2-3-1 wins or 3-0 wins, but those were sandwiched between 2 Phoenix losses, that draw, and then the Lexington loss. And so I think we're bouncing back. With what we saw Saturday, despite the fact that it was too late, I just feel pretty good about where we're at, and you're gonna give the team, another preseason kind of friendly match to figure out the defense without Kalen in between now and then come back out. Probably see Jabang, maybe Herbert in that back line against Colorado Springs, and then usually we can figure things out with those two. I mean, Maples and Herbert, when they're healthy, last year when Ryden was out and missed time, they were absolutely nails, and were arguably the best center back duo.
Will stepped up the year before that.
And so we have the ability. My guess is Will did not start at center back, one, because he's looked really good on the outside, and two, I think he's a player that you bring off the bench in this situation because you might need him at center back, but you might need him outside, and no matter which way you do it, you want him to be fresh if he's coming in late. And so I think he's the perfect like super sub on that back line because he can play a little bit everywhere, and depending on what we need. And so I expect Herbert or Jabang to be back there with Maples, both starting Wednesday and Thursday and Saturday, if you ask me. But I'm not concerned about that outing back a few weeks ago.
Tell me if my memory is correct, but I seem to recall Colorado doing a little bit of uncharacteristic flopping. I remember thinking it's not elevation. Like, why are they like? What's their problem? They're used to this elevation.
I wouldn't call it uncharacteristic. they've kind of turned into a flopping team the last year or so. But yeah, they definitely, once Kalen put that own goal in, they were definitely of the mindset of like, let's get the hell out of here with a draw and be happy with it. And honestly, even before that, a little bit, even before the draw, even before they tied it up, they were kind of like meh.
Even Micheletto was kind of pulling that stuff.
Yeah, we're not talking about Micheletto right now. I'm not happy with him.
Well, there you go. Yeah, looking back, some areas of concern that I see for Colorado, they have not had a goal scored by a forward in nearly a month. Heuerman has not scored since May 31st. Justin Dillon has not scored since April 23rd. So,
ouch.
Seth, when was the last time we had a 9 score?
Saturday.
A 9? Among was our 9 Saturday, and he did not score.
I don't know. It's a good question.
Yeah. So that I say that to say, if Dylan and them aren't scoring,
well, I'm saying forwards in general, not just nines. They have not had a forward score in almost a month.
Oh, Dylan left the team?
Yeah.
Oh, so, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so he's gone. They have not. Yeah. Dylan scored on the 23rd of April, and then Heuerman's the only other forward that has scored in the past 2 months, and that's been nearly a month ago now. So they're struggling to find chances for their forwards. So I don't know. Like I am concerned about Colorado. I think they're on the downswing. Yeah, they're picking up a result here and there, but they're not great results. It's like 1-0. So I don't know. Predictions Saturday night. What are our score lines?
I'm going to go 3-1 the good guys.
Okay.
Hat trick for Among.
Yeah, Justin Dillon. I heard it. I hadn't looked at it. Justin Dillon left on June 17th. So he's only been gone a week due to personal reasons. So
I wonder what the rumors are that Andrew's heard.
I don't know. Jacob, scoreline prediction?
2-0.
2-0. Okay, fair enough. God, y'all took everything that I might have even possibly said. I don't want to give Colorado a goal. I want to see Shakes get another clean sheet. Screw it. 3-0.
Nice. I like it.
3-0. Yep, we're gonna do it. I don't have faith in Colorado at all, and I think our defense is good enough to do that. Again, playing at the Lab at home, I think we see a much bigger crowd for Saturday than we do tomorrow, obviously, for a number of different reasons. But I think Saturday is going to be phenomenal. Again, chance to potentially clinch, or at least put ourselves in the driver's seat to move forward into the knockout stages. So, man, I think we've covered a lot in an hour and 9. Do you guys have anything else? Any final thoughts on tomorrow or Saturday or anything else in general?
I do want to shout out, Andrew put it over here in the chat, but we did have Player of the Week and 4 of the 11 were New Mexico United players for Team of the Week, which has to be a record for us. And all well-deserved. Lindsay played a phenomenal game. Fernando Acale and Vargas all obviously played outstanding games. And so it's nice to see us get a little bit of recognition there. And then I want to highlight Vargas, right? He gets the Player of the Week, but really this whole season, even if the numbers, even if the counting stats aren't necessarily there, he still is just producing and performing and we hoped that he would do that when we brought him in on loan last season. And then he kind of like barely played, kind of was like, where is this guy? And then he gets announced that he's going back on loan. So we're like, okay, well, he's not even going to play for us. So we're not even sure what to think there. And then all of a sudden he comes back and we're like, okay, that's cool, but does it really mean anything? And now he's just probably our most consistent player all year.
Mm-hmm. He puts in shift after shift.
Yeah, he's 1, 2, 3. He's fourth in minutes played, behind only Tambakis, obviously, Maples, obviously, and the only attacking player that's played more is Akale. Oh, that's a lie. Fernando's played just a handful more minutes. And so, but he's still right there. He's putting in the shifts. He's getting the starts. He's passing well. He's creating chances. He just is doing everything that you want a player that is playing in that 10 role to do. And he's kind of been a revelation. And I would say that, like, I think that offensively he could be our MVP right now. He's got 2 goals. He's got 3 assists, both of which are second on the team. Aquele has 5. Fernando has 4 goals. So he's near the top there. He likes to shoot. He's got the second most shots taken with 16. Mm-hmm. He's second in chances created behind Akale. Akale has 25. Vargas has 23, but Akale's done it in 1 more appearance.
Almost had a worldie.
Yeah, I mean, he's just been fantastic for us, and he gets player of the week this week, which is fantastic. I would argue that he is still underrated somehow, and so just wanted to give him kind of his roses there, and then tell me you all saw Nanan Hosu's goal.
Yes. Do you have it queued up?
I don't, but I can.
I did not.
Find that quickly.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Oh,
it wasn't a sky ball?
No. Oh my God.
It was. It was a sky ball, but it was from midfield.
Okay. It was one of those.
And
like Sports Center number 1 play of the week. Play of the day, play of the week. I don't know. Yeah, no. Space Kid, you missed it. We were glazing up your boy Gideon. You missed it.
We sure were.
This is twice now. This is 2 weeks in a row now. We've glazed up Gideon.
Gideon and Zico.
Can you not say glazed
up? Powerful duo.
Can I? Am I too old to say glazed up?
I think you might be.
I'm so old. I've never even heard that before.
Yeah.
But I do know what skeeting is.
Yeah, we've been well, the radio station has been skeeting a lot lately. So it's yeah, that's a word. All right. Yeah, if you haven't, this is phenomenal. Like all love the Hosu. This is really great. Oh, you didn't pull that's fine.
I just went to YouTube and searched it because that was the fastest way to do it. But I do like, because it shows his defensive talent here too. He gets in there, forces a pass.
Mm-hmm.
To give it, and then just
Phoenix just quits.
I did see that goal. I did not realize it was Hosu.
Yeah.
Good for Hosu.
Yeah. Oh, that was phenomenal. Yeah, Rising just gave up. They just
upper 90.
Was that Rakovsky in goal?
I don't think so. No, it is. Yeah.
I love that for Phoenix.
Yeah, just an absolute worldie. Like,
Andrew.
I mean, we had some good goals this week from United. Vargas's in particular was very nice on the half volley there.
I'm not sure. Fernando, like healing it back to him, like as that, just like that last ditch oof effort, that was just and was it Gaines who
Mhm.
beat the keeper to the ball. Just that whole link up was just
Yeah.
like chef's
Mhm.
kiss.
But none of them were as good as Josu's right there, especially because it was against Phoenix, and it made me cry tears of joy. I cannot stand Arturo Rodriguez for Charleston, but he did score 2 against Phoenix, his old team, and so for some reason, even though it was him that scored 2 of them, I felt happy about that too.
Did you look at
Only
Did you look at the
thing that
stats for
would've-
that match?
From
Were they
the
wild?
Phoenix match,
Yeah.
I have not. No,
So I mean, obviously, stats don't really matter.
I do know Phoenix lost the possession battle, or Phoenix won the possession battle relatively easily, if I want to say.
64 to Phoenix had 64% possession of that match.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, that's it's not a matter of how much you have the ball, it's what you do with it.
And yet they had 65% possession, yet they still were outshot by 6 goals total and 4 goals on target, or 4 shots on target. And yet they had almost double the amount of passes that Charleston did.
Yeah. That's
sometimes
efficient.
that feels like it. Sometimes it feels like you could be talking about United there.
Yeah.
See, but we have had possession, and I would argue, I don't know for sure. I'd have to go back and look, but I think other than in like our bigger losses, we've had possession, but we also have won the target or the shots on target battle, or at least the shots battle. It just doesn't feel like it because we
that's the problem. That's my problem. It doesn't feel like it.
Yeah.
So all right, so shots in league play, we rank 15th in the league in shots taken. Conversion rate, we're 4th. 4th in conversion rate, sitting behind Battery, Rising, and Loudon.
Wow.
Now, in terms of passing, we
gotta
are
be
number
first.
1. We're number 1 in league in passes. We're approximately 200. We have approximately 200 passes more than Battery on the season. We're also
Do you guys remember the first season when the media team did that little video that was like the video game sounds, and it was like ding ding ding, and like every single player on the pitch touched the ball? I'd really be curious if they could reprise that again this season, because it feels like that's how much passing happens.
Yeah. No, man, we were certainly good at it, and it works, so, but yeah, it's no matter what the possession stats say, it's what do you do with it when you have it. So, and our goal is to force opponents to run, force them out of position, and then take advantage. So, and it works. So, but all right. Any closing thoughts? No. All right. Well, Jacob, what do you say you get us out of here?
Sweet. All right. Andrew, Space Kid, Christian, Jane, Mama Christina, Josh and Justin, of course. News and analysis by Arturo, I think was the name of that other one that kind of came in and disrupted us for a little while. Thank all of you guys in the chat for being here live. I think I saw on the little counter up here, we were up to 16, I think is the highest that I saw watching live. So we appreciate all of y'all. If you want to make sure you're seeing this, we are back on Facebook, so you can find us on Facebook again. If you have never followed us, or if you stopped following us because we changed our name to something else for a little while. Not we did not do that, as in any of the people right here. But the page name did get changed for a little while. So if you stopped following for whatever reason, we're back. It's still ours. We're there again. So follow there, or go to YouTube and subscribe to us there. If you would like to listen just in your ear holes instead of watching with your eye holes, you can go and subscribe on the podcast player of your choice. And if you do, please rate and review us, and let them know that we're doing a good job. Let us know too, or let us know if we're doing a bad job. We have had some people give us constructive criticism in the past, and it took a while, but we took that to heart and changed some things. And so, let us know. And so with that, we'll be back next Tuesday, 8:00. Possibly talking about the Juarez game, even though I don't know if any of us will be able to watch it unless Christina is able to make it over there and video it for us. I'll try to listen if I remember. I'll at least follow on social media, on Twitter and stuff. And so, but we will for sure talk about that in some way, shape, or form. And of course, we'll talk about the Colorado Springs match in the USL Jägermeister Cup. And so, Seth, you will possibly be joining us, but possibly not, correct?
I'll be here. Don't worry about it. I will be here. Yeah.
Okay.
I do want to say just real. Yeah, I'll be here next week. I want to say
I will not be here next week.
Right.
FYI.
Yep. We do have a special guest next week.
Yay.
Which you guys know about, but we haven't talked about it in a while, so probably maybe forgot. But we will talk about that off air. And then so we'll be back next Tuesday, talk about all that. Like I said, we'll have a special guest. And it's nobody from the team, so don't get like too excited.
And just quickly on Saturday, if possible, if you're at the game on Saturday, and I don't know if he's listening, but I would love to hear the supporters start a chant for David.
Oh yeah,
something. Thank you, David, or something. Especially if they get him down there to do chant of the match, like show.
They gotta do something like it's been bananas.
Yeah.
You know, an ode to his original Meow Wolf costume.
Something, yeah. Just show David some love, like really, really show David love. Like he's, I talked to him on Saturday. That was the last time I will see him in person before he leaves, unfortunately. But for everything that he's done, just from starting the curse to moving into the front office and everything he does with the community and fan outreach and the community, just the communications department. Yeah, like show David some love if you guys see him on Saturday. For sure. And I'm sure you will, but you won't be able to give him too much love because he's a busy man on match days. And so, but yeah, good catch there, Seth. And so with that, we will talk to y'all next week. And until then, somos niños.